Welcome to the Fix Your Sciatica podcast, where we meet with experts and clients and discuss how to manage your sciatica and low back pain without the use of medications or surgery. I'm your host, Dr. Ashley Mack, and I'm a physical therapist as well as the founder of ifixyoursciatica.com, a go-to resource for pain management.
All right, so if you have suffered from a herniated disc, experienced back pain, experienced sciatica, and you've gotten to a point where your physical therapist or your chiropractor has said that you are cleared for exercise, but you are just so deathly afraid of getting back into it because you weren't really given that much guidance in what to do. Today's episode's for you. I have a very special guest who I worked with in the past, has gone through a very similar situation as you folks listening out there. And we came up with a plan to help get her back into exercise and doing the things that she loved, with the ultimate goal of giving her the tools so that she feels confident doing everything that she wants, but then also having a plan when those symptoms come on. So I'm very, very happy to welcome Serena to today's episode. Serena, thank you so much for hopping on today. How are you doing?
Thanks for having me, Ashley. I'm doing really great, moving and grooving. So feeling good.
Yes. Good. And I'm so glad because we had the opportunity to work together earlier this year and you made some amazing progress. So could you tell us a little bit more about yourself? What led you to working with me at this capacity? And we'll start there.
Yeah. Well, in most recent, situations of what led me to working with you, Ashley, was I turned 30, and 3 days later, I went to move a tissue box off of my coffee table, and I threw my back out. And I don't think I've ever been in that kind of pain before with my back, where throwing it out is different than injuring it over time. And it was very much oh, wow, we're old now. We can't do normal things like pick up a tissue box without thinking about it first. And it was extremely painful. I was sleeping on the couch for a week. I had to take meetings from my floor because that was the only position I was comfortable in. It was pretty bad. And I slowly got back to normal and was able to move again. And once I felt comfortable, doing everyday things like moving around and walking and everything, went through the holidays. And then I reached out to you because I saw your email, because we've stayed in touch over the years. And your email was I feel like it was about planking, helping lower back pain or something like that. And I was like, I need to talk to Ashley again because he can help me get back into the space that I want to. I've always liked working out. I've always enjoyed feeling strong. And I was like, I need to do this the right way. I can't just step into this and say, okay, let's go back to our normal routine. I had been in situations where I had done, spin classes or lifting, and I was fine in the spin class, but then the next 3 days I couldn't walk or move, or I was just really struggling. And it wasn't your typical, I worked out really hard, pushed my muscles hard type of soreness. It was more of a something is wrong kind of soreness. And I wanted to make sure that the way I eased into it, I knew how to treat my former injury, which originated in college. But now that I'm older, I'm obviously not doing sports to the same capacity as I was in college, but now I still need to move my body. I still need to, I'm an athlete at heart. So I still need to apply that physical movement to my day to day, and throwing my back out by moving a tissue box was not acceptable for me. So having an approach with you where I could ease into it was really I knew that was the way to go. And I felt like, as opposed to finding another personal trainer or someone in my area, I trusted you because I knew you were a physical therapist who was also really passionate about weightlifting and strength training and keeping your spine and being mindful of injuries that was something that just really was just prominent for me. That was important to me. And that's why I was like, I need to work with Ashley again. So yeah.
Well, I'm so glad that we had the opportunity to stay in touch. I mean, we've known each other probably for about 3 years, and a lot has happened over the past even year with the pandemic and everything. But for us to be able to constantly communicate and share a little bit of my knowledge with you, so then that way you can feel comfortable and feel confident in everything that you do. It's a pretty big eye-opening experience to go from, say, like being super physically active and doing all this stuff, and then to be sidelined by picking up a tissue box. I remember we talked about that, and that in itself, I haven't had the opportunity to experience that, and I don't wish that on anyone. But it's a very big eye-opening experience, and it could really put kind of a perspective on a whole bunch of different things. So going over, we had the opportunity to work together as we've gone through our process, where we had the chance to work on a weekly basis and communicate on a regular basis as well. What would you say the biggest achievement or accomplishment or biggest thing that you were most happy about when we were working together?
I feel like the pace was really great. I think at first it was struggling because we started out with such basic moves, and when you're someone like me who's lifted before, you've done a lot of these different exercises before, how important form is, but it's struggling mentally to start at zero. But the way we progressed, I mean, the first 3 weeks were probably the slowest, but once we moved into like that second phase, I think I really started to progress quickly as far as like strength training and maneuvers. And like, I didn't even know what a Turkish getup was. And I don't know that they're necessarily my favorite thing in the world to do, but I feel strong when I do them. And I know that it's helping me with my balance along with my back and how to maneuver between those things. I think the knowledge that I gained in addition to the strength is something I really enjoyed through the entire process, especially when, you do get to try a new maneuver or you do master a new maneuver. I think that that's really exciting. And to see where I started from when we first started working together in earlier this year to the end of our sessions together, it was a really huge difference. And to see that is just it's so great. Like just from a mental perspective, I think more than anything else, to see how far I came, to feel good in my body, to not be in pain while I'm doing these more advanced maneuvers, I think is something that was a really great takeaway for me.
Awesome. Yeah, I was a former athlete myself. I consider myself a retired athlete now, and I just stay active so I can feel great and enjoy the great outdoors. And I remember the same thing as you, getting hurt and comparing where you were, comparing yourself at the point of injuring yourself to where you were before, and you look at it and you're like, man, this is a pretty big gap between where I am and where I used to be. And it is very mentally taxing to think, like, how am I going to get back into doing this? And that athlete mentality, or just, I mean, if we look at like being out here in the States, I mean, we're at the pinnacle of innovation and speed. And so we asked ourselves, we're like, why can't things progress faster? But I really do appreciate your patience with me for us to really map out the foundation and really go over the basics of what we needed to do. Because I mean, as we get older and as we age, we develop our own specific set of habits. And it does take some time to break some habits. And I remember during our conversations, I would say, okay, we're going to focus on this when you're going about walking throughout your day or like picking things up. And so there's definitely a lot of things that we can specifically focus on. And again, thank you so much for your patience, because when it comes to injury recovery, we can't necessarily rush things, but also it is important for us to ensure that we are moving forward. And I'm glad that you are happy with the pace. So here you are, Serena, you're healthy, you're active. What's on the horizon for you? What are you looking to accomplish now that you are feeling good and rock and rolling and it's the summertime and things are moving forward?
Yeah. I'm actually, I go on vacation this week, but after that, I'm planning to do 75 hard, which is like insane. The idea of it is crazy. I've already told my friends, hey, I'm giving up drinking for the summer because of this program. But I really want to, I think I'm ready for that challenge, both physically and mentally. So I'm really excited for it. I think that something I'm also thinking about is my mom used to do triathlons, and now she's going through some personal illnesses right now, and treatments. But when she's done, she wants to do a triathlon again, and I want to train to be able to do that with her. So it's probably not going to be some advanced one. I'm certainly not going to do like an Ironman or anything crazy like that, but I am going to do like a swim, bike, run, standard triathlon with her, which is really exciting to think about. And you know, I'm slowly getting into running, which I know you knew I wasn't crazy about at one point, because I was worried about my back. But I feel so strong now and so comfortable, and I'm not scared moving anymore. And I think that it's causing me to push myself out of my comfort zone for other types of exercise and just movement in general. I think that those are the types of things that I'm looking forward to doing, both from a short-term and a long-term perspective. So, yeah.
I love those for you. Here you have the opportunity to really push yourself. I'm glad that you brought up the concept of comfort zone, because when you are sidelined by an injury, there really is no comfort zone. You're already in discomfort, right? Like you can't push. I mean, I guess you can push farther into it, but does that make any sense? So it's kind of like that saying where, like, if you're hurt, if you're sick, if you're injured, your first thing that you need to focus on is to getting well. And then once you're getting well, you can do whatever you want. You can do your 75 hard, which I'm so excited for you to do. I know that you can do. I know you're going to be successful because of everything that you've gone through and what you are going to be accomplishing. And then also those triathlons. I only liked riding stationary bikes. So for you to ride like a bike on land as like a distance, that's awesome. And then that's going to be great and an opportunity for you to do this with your mom, which is so cool. And so I'm so excited for you. I'm going to follow you on this journey. I'm going to cheer you on from the comfort of my home office. But I'm very, very excited for you about that. So Serena, ultimately, my ultimate question for you is like there are many other people who are experiencing very similar situation as you had, say back during the holidays. So for someone who hurt their back and wants to get back into activity and is really just trying to figure out like what to do next, what is some of your words of recommendation, or what's your first thing to tell like that? Sorry, what's your recommendation for those folks who are kind of on the fence to starting or even working with someone like me to help them get back on track?
Yeah, I mean, I would definitely say don't shy away from any form of physical therapy. I think it's really important. It's something that's really worth it, and to be consistent with it. That being said, from there, take it slow. Don't be afraid of the basics to build yourself up. I think that working with someone like you really helped transition from the basics into the more advanced stuff, which is scary to think about, walking into a gym and, you know, doing Bulgarian split squats or Turkish get-ups with weights, or, you know, power lifts of any kind is extremely intimidating on its own. If you've never done them at all in a gym like that, or just in general, and then to have the added insecurity of what if I hurt myself? It's scary. It's a scary thought, because when you're at the gym, like what happens? Or if you hurt yourself at home working out, like what happens? And I think going from those basics and working your way through it is at whatever pace is good for you, but just really take your time through it. Like I still get up in the morning and do, those, I don't even know what they're called, the knee over and twists and the scorpions and the dragon good mornings. Those are part of my day, because I know that even if I don't do a workout or a crazy workout, or even if I'm not pushing myself with, like static workouts or anything, I'm still taking care of my body. And I feel like if you incorporate those, they may seem so simple, but it's like, almost think about like coffee as part of your day. It's a simple thing, but without it, your whole day, at least for me, can be torn apart without it. And I rely on it. Same with water. Like you need water to provide yourself with energy and hydration and feeling good and clear skin, and just to help you get through the day. And you have to almost look at those basic parts of the workout as nutrients for your body in a way. Like, yes, it's not like a supplement or something you're physically putting inside your body, but it's a way you're caring for yourself. And starting with those basics, one, they're a lot less intimidating than any other part of your workout. So I think there are a lot less insecurities surrounding it. They're slower, so they give you an opportunity and to really focus on your form, and then you can eventually use them to build up into more advanced things. Like now I'm doing one-legged RDLs. I don't think I ever would have thought that I would be doing that successfully and comfortably, especially with my back, and I have very tight and short hamstrings. So, that all started with a good morning, dragon good mornings. So, and I still do those every single day because they keep my back safe. They keep my legs feeling strong, and they're just simple movements that I can do to stay comfortable and now I don't have to think about my injury as much when I move, because I know I'm taking the steps to keep myself in that space. It's become a part of my routine.
Right on. Well, thank you so much for sharing that, Serena. It's huge when it comes to incorporating the basics, because when you have that basics, you can have a really good, solid foundation. And then from that foundation, you can do anything that you want. And here we go. We got Serena, who's going to be doing 75 hard when she gets back from vacation, and then triathlons, and then next up, the world. So Serena, thank you so much for being on today's episode. We some really amazing news. You also have a podcast of your own. So would you like to tell us a little bit more about that?
Yeah, sure. I'd love that. A friend and I basically are talking about our insecurities. One of them happens to be, going to the gym. So we will have an episode out about, weightlifting and working out and body image and all that fun stuff. But it's called The Art of Insecurity. And it's just two girls in their 30s talking about, the changes that we go through and the insecurities that you deal with just every day in the world. And we're really excited to get it lifted off. So it's going to be some fun topics to discuss.
I cannot wait. So, Serena, thank you again for taking the time out of your day, sharing your story. I'm confident that your story is going to inspire many other people who want to make a change and get back and focus on those basics. So, have a fantastic rest of your day, and I'll talk to you soon.
Thanks so much, Ashley.
Of course.
Thank you so much for tuning in. We hope you got some help from today's podcast. And for more info, check us out at ifixyoursciatica.com. Have a fantastic and pain-free day. No patient-therapist relationship is formed by listening to this podcast. We are not providing medical advice, and all information should be confirmed by a medical provider.